1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Hi, I'm Victoria Vox, and this is Get Into the Groove, where we will play 4 measures of 4 different chords over 10 different strumming patterns or grooves. So to start out, we'll play those 4 chords. These are from an original song of mine called Echo of Luck, where we have 1 measure of F, 1 measure of C, 1 measure of A minor, and 1 measure of G. Always changing on beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. What I hear is the echo of luck. And we can end these exercises on A minor. So we'll start with exercise 2, but before we get much further, we need to differentiate straight playing versus swung playing. So in example 1A, we have an example of straight eighth notes. We take each of those quarter notes and subdivide it into 2. So you'll be strumming on the up as well. Back to the F, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and every strum is equal parts and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now with the Hawaiian Swing, it will actually look like 1A, but sound like 1B. So in 1B, you'll see that there are triplets with the first 2 notes of that triplet tied. I think of it like a lopsided eighth note. And so the down is going to be a little bit longer, and you hang out on the bottom just a little bit longer before you come to for the up strum. So if you are counting them into triplets, it would be triplet, triplet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, triplet, 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 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But if we tie those first 2, 1, 2, and 3. So you'll notice it's just a little lopsided and heavy on the down. So here's our example 2 with Hawaiian Swing. We'll play on every eighth note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. I can see it now, feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. And you may notice how I will be changing my singing depending on which groove we are playing. So moving on to example 3, we have a reggae. This one is a real fun, bouncy rhythm where we only strum on 2 and 4 and, which is like creating a backbeat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. However, if we strum through all of those chords and don't let beats 1 and 3 have a rest, as in a mute, it will sound like this. Doesn't sound very reggae. The rest is so important in reggae because it gives room for the drums and bass, especially the bass. So a nice, easy way to start out playing reggae is just to do a light tap on 1 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it doesn't need to be an audible thud. You could also try doing it with your hand closed as if you were strumming 2 and 3 and 4 and if you're a more advanced player, you can of course use left hand muting to mute the chords in between
the strums. So here we go, starting with the tap on 1. So we always change chord on beat 1 with the tap. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Tap, 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 tap. So we're only getting 2 strums technically per chord. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And of course we can push the tempos on any of these, but we'll keep it nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. So these eighth notes in the reggae are swung, da da, ba da, ba da. You can hear that it's lopsided. If I were to play them straight, it would sound like this. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. So moving on to example 4, we have ska, which is a precursor to reggae. Here we are going to only have our ands on the ups, and the cool thing about this is if we play on the ups and we mute on the downs, so it says MD, that's a muted down strum, we can actually play this pretty quickly without any sort of left hand muting. So those same chords, now we're going to get 4 up strums per chord, not playing on beat 1, any beat for that matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and. Now I'm using my thumb, basically muting with the meaty part of my hand, and just grabbing my thumb and letting my thumbnail drag across the strings on the way up. Getting a little mute in between every time. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. Can we take it a little faster? Here we go. Up, 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 up. Now, what I hear is the echo of luck. So that can be pretty high energy to get into it. Moving on to example 5A and 5B. So 5A is our Calypso strum, also known as the island strum, but it's also a very versatile strum that is used in folk and pop as well. So you may know this strum as down, down, up, down, up. We'll give it some counts. Changing chord on beat 1. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of love. Now, a variation that we can do with this Calypso strum is add a little bit of a backbeat on beat 2. So we're just going to beef up the chord played on beat 2 by adding a thumb roll. So when you're strumming on your beat 2, just as normal, instead of just strumming with your finger, you're going to let your thumb stick out and drag behind your index finger. And everything else in the measure is the same. Ra-da. And it's only on beat 2. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and it might change the way I sing it a little bit, emphasizing that beat 2 a little more. Now moving on to example 6, here is our rock strum. Looks just like the Hawaiian Swing, except this one is straight. And we just want it to be energetic and equal in value and no accents. We're just gonna rock it out. 1 and 2, and here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Alternatively, you can strum all of these eighth notes with a downward strum, and it'll make it sound a little more energetic as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So you're always attacking from the top of the strings. Now moving on to example 7, this is our pop rock strum. It is just like Calypso, played straight, but we are going to substitute the backbeat, beats 2 and 4, for a rhythmic chunk, meaning that we don't get any harmonic sound out of our ukulele. So a way that you do that is you're actually muting from the other side of your nails. So you're strumming through just as normal. And if you mute from this side of the strings, you get a scratching sound. So instead, if you bring your arm a little bit closer to the uke so that your nails are scratching through but being muted by your arm and your palm, you will want to roll up your sleeve for this one. And that will be on beats 2 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if we add that in with the Calypso strum, we have 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 4 and 1, 2 and 4 and 1, 2 and. So the only thing that changes from that Calypso strum is the substitute of the chunk. On the downward strums, 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 4 and 1. And that chunk is called DX in the notation. 1, 2 and. Let's push that tempo a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. for a solo ukulele player who doesn't have a drummer. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now moving on to example 8, which is swing, also known as jazz. So we can use this strum just on the simple beat to play jazz or jazz swing. And the swing will be on the brush of the strings, just on the natural coming up in between each beat. Now, one thing you'll want to do is have these chords sound a little bit shorter. So there'll be either left hand muting, you could do maybe a right hand mute if it's a slow enough song. Or I'm just stopping the strings from ringing in between. Or you can try some left hand muting. On the G chord, gets a little harder because you have to think about that open G ringing on the top. That maybe bar chords will be easier to really get into that left hand muting if you want to play faster. Here's my G bar. Again, these chords aren't exactly jazzy, but just an example that this is the strumming pattern, not necessarily the chords. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. So here we are at example 9, our jazz swing with the chunk. So if you can think of your Calypso strum played with the pop rock backbeat on 2 and 4, but we're gonna swing it. So all of those 3 things in one strum. Take it slow to start. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2. Hey! So just think of that chunk is a little bit lazier, and you stay down a little bit longer. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and. One, I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. You can try pushing that tempo a little bit. 2, and 4. Again, really great if you don't have a drummer. All right, we have arrived at the country section, starting with just a country boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka. And that's going to be a 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and, giving an accented beat on the backbeat 2 and 4. Starting out slow, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2. I give my beat 2 and 4 a little extra whip. So beat 1 is actually kind of a half strum, pretty small. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. I kind of feel like I'm riding a horse. One more time through. Now if we play example 11, which is our pop country strum which is also in pop music. You can hear it in Vance Joy's Riptide. Now this one we might also get playing a little bit faster, where we will extend our measures to actually 2 measures per chord if counting it in the eighth note pattern. So to start out slow, we'll start with the eighth notes as written in the notation at example 11. It's just like the Calypso strum, except we do not strum on the and of 2. So we're going to let that 1, 2 ring out a little bit longer, and we don't come back for it until the and of 3. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and. Giving a little extra push on beat 2. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, 4, and 1, 2. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2. Now if we really get cooking on this strumming pattern, we can think of adding an extra measure for each chord, so that it will sound like 2 measures of F, 2 measures of C, 2 measures of A minor, and 2 measures of G. But we will be going a lot faster. 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and here we go. And 1, 2, C. And you're giving a little extra push on the beat 2. 1, 2. Can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of love. I can see it now, I can feel it now. What I hear is the echo of luck. Now here we are at example 12. Here is our Bluegrass. And again, similar to that pop country sum, eventually we will really get cooking, but until then, the train is still at the station, and we are going to start slow. These are every eighth note with an accent on beats 2 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and little big strum, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and now if we really want to play this fast, again we're going to add 2 measures per chord, so we really can get cooking. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and here we go. And thanks for watching, and happy strumming!